Off of The Wrong Side of Heaven, The Righteous Side of Hell, Volume 2. Five Finger Death Punch's rendition of House of the Rising Sun. Right here on 98 The Rock, Kansas City's rock station.
That's right.
I am Nivens, broadcasting live, of course, from Rockfest 2014, and sitting across from me, the always enigmatic, no, always energetic, no, always exciting, I don't even know Zoltan anymore, man. I feel like this is, I don't know how many interviews we've done now, and how many festivals, and how many, you know, whether it's Freakers Ball or out here at Rockfest, and you guys every year just up your goddamn game.
Just the idea, man.
You know, because I think the last time I saw you here, you talked about, like, we wanted to try and parachute in if that was possible, and then the city was like, no, you can't do that. Yep. It's like, okay, we're just gonna bring a monster truck out. How do you guys feel about that? Oh, that's fine. That works. Yep. Yeah. So I gotta ask, and this is from Moose. You know, he wants to know, whose truck is it really? Is it your truck? Are you the one? Are you the one who's flipping the bill on this thing?
Not exactly.
You have this parked in your garage out in Vegas.
Not yet. Not exactly. But well, basically, what happened? Jimmy Cretin, the world's freestyle world champion, 2 Extreme team, is actually here in Kansas.
Yeah.
So it just happened so that they're here, and monster trucking was on my bucket list. So, you know, it's a bizarre scenario. It all happened in Sweden. I was in Stockholm running into Chris Kurtz, who's one of the guys who does all the promotions for Monster Jam and whatnot, you know?
Right.
And he's like, hey, I can help you get into a monster truck. It started there, and it became like, well, why don't we build you one? You know, Jimmy Cretin got excited about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, let's build him a truck. And then Monster, the Knucklehead, basically, that's what he called.
Knucklehead, yeah.
Knucklehead was born, and so today we had 2 of them. All morning I was jumping one out in the training course.
Yeah, you were showing me the pictures of that, just taking off over school buses.
I was smashing school buses all morning without children in it.
Right, okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Was your inner 10-year-old though just like, this is awesome?
It's like in their 10, in their 14, in their 30, everything was there.
The inner 30-year-old, exactly. Yeah, I mean that is the thing, you know, being in rock and roll. You know, especially if you have a little bit of a Peter Pan complex. You know, you get to hold on to all that stuff, and then the spoils of success, which obviously, I mean, you guys have just kept growing and growing and growing. I mean, from the very first days. I mean, I remember the first time that I saw you guys. It was a Delicious Rocks festival. I was brought.
Oh
like,
my God, you were there!
I was the one. I was a stage announcement guy. I was the guy that did the whole thing because remember it was.
We had riot police shutting you down and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and then like no, I had to recover because it was like a Saturday or whatever, and then I think it was like Monday night because I was working nights at the time at the Rock. I went into Westport, and all of a sudden this guy goes, hey. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, you did our stage announcement. It was awesome. And I'm like, oh yeah, I was a little tipsy. I'm like, he's like, I'm Ivan. I'm like, dude, what's up, man?
Yeah,
so we had some beers, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, we're stuck here. Like nobody paid us. All the bands, because the guy just disappeared, whatever. So ever since then, I've just always had like a little soft spot for you guys right there. And then just watching you guys grow and grow, and of course the fan base is really, when it comes down to rock and metal, there is, I don't know if there's any more diehard fans than those guys, and especially when you talk about Five Finger Death Punch fans.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, hard rock metal fans are lifers.
Yeah.
They are there forever, and we happen to, you know, even that time, you saw us on our very, very first show. That was our first show.
That was, that was. I remember that. That was, because it was all the chatter about, like, because you had Wasp and you had Motorgrade and you had all these bands you were part of that came together to make this thing.
Yeah.
And,
But imagine this. That was the first show, and I already had a couple of guys there in the 30 people who were there.
Yeah.
There were a couple of guys who already had tattoos. They had Five Finger Death Punch tattoos, and we were like, dude, we don't even have a record deal. We don't know what's gonna happen yet, you know. And they already having the tattoos and whatnot. We kind of knew it from the beginning because of that.
Yeah.
We saw so many of them.
I watched. I mean, some of the bands, they come and go, and it's a sad thing. You know, I never like to see a rock band, especially, just break up or no longer be around anymore. But yeah, I don't know if I've seen just a band from the very, very get-go, almost just like already have people into place to really to take you guys where you've gone. So what deal with the devil did you make, man? Because I know you're the mastermind behind all this. Did you go down to the crossroads down in Clarksville, Mississippi?
I definitely. Well, it's kind of the thing where every single one of us were in bands before that had some level of success. So we kind of learned what not to do. And we were also frustrated because we were almost there with other bands.
Yeah.
So now get 5 angry guys together that, they all almost made it at one point. And when you put them together, it's a machine. Because everybody was equally angry at, like, this is our last shot. Let's, let's go, let's do this. And we didn't make the mistakes. Every band, new bands at least, we didn't argue about stuff. We just had a mission. It was like a SWAT team. We knew that, okay, we need this drummer, that singer, that, And it was pretty much special forces, man.
Yeah.
We just put it together that way. One guy with the bazooka, one with the sniper gun, and let's go.
Now, with like a Revolver Golden God Awards last month, you guys were up for so many different things. With Chris winning bassist, has it gone to his head? I mean, is he just gotten so cocky? Does he have his own tour bus now? Does he have his own...
No, he has his own beard.
I know. I was like, man, I hope he doesn't come up here because this is going to be just put to shame to what he's got going on.
I mean, he's, he's one of the humblest guy that you meet. So I'm really happy that we found him. He was local in Vegas and he was just such a nice guy.
Was he like bartending or something like that?
Yeah,
Wasn't
he was,
literally like just plucked from obscurity and then here you are.
And you know what's funny, because our old bass guitarist that he replaced happened to meet him and was a total douchebag to him. So it's kind of like poetic justice that he was the guy that got the job.
Wow, that's wild, man. That's a good story. Now, I'm going to switch gears real quick. I want to go back. We were just listening to your guys' rendition of House of the Rising Sun. You directed that video, is that right?
Yes.
Is that something, because I know old Jesse Leach from Killswitch has been doing some stuff as well. Is that something that you're into? Is that
absolutely. Visual art's always been a part of, I'm not sure that many people know that I design most of the merch and whatnot, So I've been always a visual artist before the band actually took off. So, so it's kind of something I want to do. I co-directed this first one with Brian Neal, who has a couple of shows on Discover and whatever other channels, and learning the ropes, But it's definitely that's something I have my eye on. I would like to do movies and more videos, and it's
maybe do something like a Zeppelin, Song Remains the Same or whatever that is. That they do, where it's got you've got the whole band and doing like a whole thing, or maybe even your own the wall, if you will, like Pink Floyd's.
I mean, even the previous videos, most of the time the treatment, either I wrote it or I was heavily involved with that, so it's been always a part of my my role in the band, that the visual interpretation of what we want. And even though it's a democracy, we all have ideas and put them together, but I'm kind of the guy who has to
the buck stops here. I mean? Just say it. The buck stops here.
Not really. I'm trying to be, You're
trying to be humble, right? I do have some questions. One question in particular from one of the listeners out there is, how do you feel being European and all that? The comparison between European metal and American metal. Because you guys have been all over the world now.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see that here in the States versus over there, how does it compare and how is it different?
You know what? Actually, it's a really good question, because there is a difference. Because I grew up in Europe, and even if you're not listening to classical music, it's embedded in European culture. So we always hear it. It's always in the background somewhere. So when European bands, if you really start to dissect them, when you look at them, how they write music, it's always going to be based on classical music, meaning, twin guitars, harmonies, and there's a certain way, right? And you take an American metal band, I would say Pantera was, for me, a very American metal band, which is one guitar and heavy grooves. It's all groove-based, which is, American music is very much rhythm and blues.
Blues is the foundation of it, definitely,
See, that's the separation, and Five Finger Death Punch somewhere meets in the middle. Because we have all those harmonies. We build all that because that's my European background. But I was, Pantera enlightened me to the American. And this is somehow we're meeting in the middle. That's what we're actually doing.
Right. It's funny because I remember watching a special on like Beethoven, and I remember reading, Keith Richards' biography, and he said, can you imagine if Beethoven had a drum section? Like just the insanity of that? Because there was some heavy darkness in that, being classical. But so, well, again, I know you guys are, you're going to be over here on the Monster Energy stage tonight at 7:55, making some noise. I have a feeling that the ground is just going to shake just a little bit when you guys get on stage tonight.
That is the plan.
Well, what's in store now? I know you guys have. Were are you going from here? What's next? I know you gotta
well, basically, this summer
just
will
tour, isn't it like crazy?
That's been the last 7 years.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you guys are James Brown.
Yeah, but you know what? That's what it takes. You know, it's hard rock, heavy metal. You know, you have to play, and people have to see to understand what it is about.
Yeah.
You know, and we are a road dog band. We are a live band.
Yeah.
Our power lies in our live shows.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we're gaining fans. When we play we play festivals.
Yeah.
We've been in Kansas many times. Every time we came back, the audience doubled.
Yeah.
And that's why, because once they see us live, they go, okay, I get it. I understand what this is about. So that always helped. And the entire summer we'll go away with big festivals like this.
Yeah.
And we have a big tour in the fall with Volbeat, Hell Yeah, and
nothing more.
And nothing more.
Yeah, those guys were just here earlier.
Yeah.
They're super stoked to be out there with you guys about that, you know, and that's a monster lineup.
Paid forward, man. Paid forward. It's a new band. Give them a chance. We were given a chance by Korn and all these, Disturbed and all these bands. So you just paid forward.
Well, I went down there specifically to catch Nothing More set because I'd heard so much about it, and I was blown away. Like, yep, these kids, I'd say kids, but these guys, they want it, and you can tell they're into it. They believe their product. They believe what they're doing, and you can tell they're trying to connect with the audience. So I think that's one of those bands for sure that got to keep an eye on over the next couple of years, and especially when you're going out with you guys and Volbeat and Hell Yeah.
Volbeat doesn't need introduction.
No.
I mean, those guys have a very solid fan base, and I thought that's why this tour, it's selling out everywhere. So actually, I'm getting already emails like, oh my God, it's sold out here and there. So, well, hey, if it's sold out, there's nothing I can do about it. But basically, Volbeat has a fan base like ours.
Yeah.
Hardcore, they always come out, always see them. And we have the same kind of fan base. When you put these two together, it's going to be a big show.
Yeah, it's going to be monster.
We somewhat overlap, but not completely. So, the two of us can fill out these places.
And before I let you go, did I see, is this right? You guys are already talking new album 2015?
Yeah,
Dude.
right? It's just, this is the thing. Once they let us in the door, we knew this.
We're not getting out.
You know what? If we can get in the door, we're going to burn down the house, and that's the idea. That's what we're doing.
Well, right on. Well, Zoltan, thank you very much, man.
Absolutely.
Again, 7:55 tonight, guys, on the Monster Energy stage is Nivens broadcasting live from Rockfest 2014.
All right.